Hey y'all, welcome to your first year of drum lessons, week 16 drum set edition. My name is Penny Larson and I am super happy to welcome you to our lesson today. If this is your first time joining us on the first year of drum lesson series, I encourage you to go back and check out this whole playlist and pick up any lessons you may think are important to get you to here, and I encourage you to stay with us for the rest of the year. Today we're going to be continuing on with what we've been doing the last couple weeks, which is rolls on the drum set. Today we're going to use the rolls in a bunch of different fill patterns. I'm going to play them like they're written on your worksheet, which is available down below in the doobly-doo as a PDF, as always. I encourage you to either print it out and follow along or check it out on your device either now or later, but definitely check these out. These will help a lot, again, down below. We're going to use patterns of rolls that we've been using the last few weeks. We're changing up a few things because we're playing fills instead of grooves. We're going to do a bunch of different ways to look at these. We're going to play rolls just on the snare, we're going to play rolls around the toms, and we're going to play rolls using our bass drum. A few of these I will play a couple different ways for you just to demonstrate where you might take these from here. These are a starting place. One of the things about this lesson series very specifically is because I am not evaluating you each individually, I am presuming that you're picking everything up as we're doing it. One of the things you might be missing is an understanding of just how much material we're getting and how much experimentation you can do with just the stuff we've done in the first 15, now 16 weeks. Okay? So, with that little preamble, let's jump into it. Let's look up at the top here. This looks strange. All these little slashes and more slashes. What's going on here is called slash notation. And when musicians see that, it's either a bringer of great joy or great dread or both. Slash notation basically tells a musician, hey, I trust you as the person writing the music. You have to do something. So at the beginning here it says groove. We've got 3 measures of groove. And then the last measure, fill. So we're going to play 3 measures of a drum beat and 1 measure of one of these fills. We're going to plug each one of these into that measure. I am going to do whatever I want in these 3 measures. I might touch on things we haven't done yet because I want you to get an idea of how this is supposed to work. I'll do a couple of them really simple so you can see how that goes. But then I'll start to play grooves that I feel like make sense with the fill and hey, what kind of setup might I want to get to one of these fills. Okay? But, so let's just jump in and play them. And first we're going to play them by themselves and then we'll play them with the groove. Number 1, 5-stroke roll. Like I said, we're not going to use the same exact patterns that we've been using the last couple weeks, but we are going to try and hit all those double-stroke rolls. And this week we're even going to go back and pick up a multiple bounce roll and a triple stroke roll. But, so number 1, it's a 5-stroke roll. We're going to start with a flam on the snare, and then a 5-stroke roll on the snare, bass drum on and, another flam, another bass drum, 2 eighth notes. When notes are on top of each other like this, just like they are in drum beats, you play them at the same time. So I'm going to play the snare and floor tom at the same time. So this fill sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Something else we haven't really talked about is at the end of fills, we're going to play the crash. I have a few different crashes to choose from. If you have one specific one somewhere, figure out, sometimes you might have to figure out a way to get there with your sticking. Maybe you need to get there with your left hand, for example. But whatever it takes, you got to get to your crash, okay? I'm going to play this a little bit faster by itself, and then play the crash. And I'm going to take a measure off, and I'm going to play it again. And I'll do that a few times so you can see how it sounds. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And now let's try it by itself a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now let's see how that sounds in the context of a beat, a 4-bar phrase. I'm going to play something very simple for 3 measures and then play this. Just a nice 8th note groove, probably maybe with a couple bass drum notes, but not really much snare drum, just on 2 and 4. I'll do it slow first and then faster. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. And now a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. See what I mean about changing the beat up a little as we go? So we're going to do more of that as we go. And because I've got those slash notation there, I've given myself the freedom to do that. I've given you the freedom to do that. The thing you want to try and do is try and make sure the groove always sounds good. In that last example, I got a little ahead of myself for a second. I don't know if you noticed, there was one point where the groove kind of went, hey, and right. But that's the thrill of improvisation, is you're riding that wave and sometimes the wave gets the best of you. Okay, so number 2 is another 5-stroke roll example. The roll gets played on the and after 2. So just the fill sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and faster. 1, 2, 3, and a 4, and a. Okay, and so now let's try that with a beat. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And now a little faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. When you start to do doubles on the toms, it's very important that you work hard to control your technique, because otherwise the doubles on the toms can turn into mush, okay? And we don't want that at all. It's better, you're better just to play a single note than to let your double turn into mush, okay? Let's try that one a little bit faster and see how that sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 3 is a 6-stroke roll. And this is a pattern that I've lost track of who I stole it from. Probably the first person I heard do it was Dave Weckl, but Steve Gadd, Vinnie Colaiuta, right? Like all those 70s and 80s guys were doing this pattern. So it's a blur. The pattern is on beat 3, and we're going to end on beat 4. I'm going to play right, left, left, foot, foot, right hand on the floor tom, left hand back on the snare. And that's going to be my 6-stroke roll. I'm sort of a stickler for articulation, and I wrote this as 30-second notes, but you might notice I'm sort of, at certain tempos, I'm kind of rounding this out to be more of a triplet feel. So instead of it being da 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 da, it's more da 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 da. Okay, it's more like 6 even notes. That's an interpretation choice, okay? It's totally cool if you want to play da 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 or da 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 da. You know, the articulation police might show up and tell you that you're not playing it right, but you hereby have my permission to articulate this, interpret it how it feels best to you. Honestly, when I'm playing it in a 4/4 time like we're gonna, I end up, and I don't mean a 4/4 time, when the notes around it are duple, right, so 16th notes or other 32nd notes, my articulation still leans towards triplet, but tends to be more square than right? So if none of that made sense to you, just remember that it's right, left, left, foot, foot, right, left. Okay? Da 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 da. Sorry. Da 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 bum bum. Da 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 boom bum. Okay? Here's what that sounds like by itself, slow. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. And a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Really briefly, we're landing on a quarter note on beat 4 as part of a fill. If you play this as a fill, it's really going to stop the time for a second, and that can be totally cool, but you want to make sure that that's what you mean to do. Listen as I play this one through with the groove, and you'll see when we get to the end of the fill, right, it's almost like taking a breath. And if you're playing the type of thing where you're trying to have people dance or move, or clap or whatever, sometimes doing something this aggressively sharp to stop the time feel for a second can really throw just everything out of whack. It can literally cause people to lose their flow. Okay, so just be careful with fills that stop the time so harshly. Nice and slow at first. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. See what I mean about beat 4? There's so much space there at that tempo. I was like winding up for the crash because I just had so much time to kill, right? It creates this really big canyon of space. Let's try that one a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 4 uses a 7-stroke roll. We're going to start with the double on the floor tom, then a double on the small tom, double on the snare, and then the last note of the 7-stroke roll is on the snare, and we're going to do a series of 16th notes on the snare, and then some kick notes, and then more notes on the snare to kind of round us out. That sounds like this, nice and slow, just the fill. 1, 2, 3, E and a, 4, E and a. And a little faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and a, 4 and a. And let's see if we can go one level faster than that. 1, 2, 3, 4. So now let's try this one with a beat. Nice and slow at first. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 5 utilizes the 9-stroke roll. We're actually going to play 2 9-stroke rolls, one on the first beat, one on the third. We're going to aim for beat 2, and then we're going to aim for beat 4. That one sounds like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, and with the beat, slow it first. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. And a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a great example of one that we could vary. Those last 6 notes, we could move those around the toms if we wanted to. A little later on, I'm going to play an example very similar to what I'm talking about, just where the last 6 notes are 2 notes on each drum. There's a million things you can do with 6 notes, but I want to point out that's one place where, hey, you could do something different. There are a couple coming up that I'll actually play some variations of voicing for you so you can see more what I'm talking about. Number 6 also utilizes a 9-stroke roll. We're going to do a 16th note accent pattern. Before that, we've got left hand on the snare, right hand is going to move back and forth between the 2 toms. Right, left, left, right, left, left, right, left, right, left, left, left. Then right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Okay? Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, E and 4, E and and a little faster. 1, 2, 3, and 4, and You think you can do that one a teeny bit faster? 1, 2, 3, and 4, and that one's a great example where at that tempo, I'm not sure the doubles on the toms are working anymore. I guess I can hear them most of the time. Honestly, sometimes they're getting a little thick. So some of these fills have a tempo threshold, not in, oh my goodness, I can't play them any faster, but do they sound musical, right? Do they work? What is the point of doing them that way? Let's try number 6 with a groove. Slow at first. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. And now a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 7 utilizes the 10-stroke roll. Remember, that's the one with 2 accents at the end. This one is going to kind of have a broken feel, almost like number 3 did. I'm not landing on 4 and leaving the whole beat empty, but I'm landing on 4E and leaving the second half of the beat empty. So this is another one that would break the time for you, so be careful with ones like this. This one by itself, nice and slow. 1, 2, 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And a little faster. 1, 2, 3 and a, 4 and a. All right, let's try it with the beat. A little slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And now a little faster. 1, 2, 3 and a, 4 and a. then I think we can do that one step faster too. 1, 2, 3, and a 4 and a. See what I mean about playing around with like the beat and how you're framing them and stuff? You should be seeing all the stuff we're doing as like jumping off points, especially once we start getting into, fills and groove patterns. Steal the stuff, make it your own, right? Pick one. If there's one that I play and you think, oh wow, that one sounds awesome, that's the one, right? Grab that one and then play it a million ways. Right? And then pick the 10 that you like the best, right? And then play those all the time, and eventually they'll just become a part of your playing, right? The goal isn't to do this stuff once and then be like, oh, okay, check, I did it once, right? The goal is to really learn this stuff and own it. And you're never gonna learn and own everything, right? I mean, it's a lovely goal, but that shouldn't even be the goal. The goal should be to develop a very strong vocabulary and a very strong identity. And you want to be able to play a little bit of everything. If you get called on for a jazz gig or a Latin gig or whatever, you want to be able to cover those, but you always want to do all of those with your own voice. Never sacrifice your own voice. Anyway, moving on. Number 8. Now we're at the 11-stroke roll. Remember last week the 11-stroke roll was my favorite. Will it be my favorite this week? Let's see. Pretty busy pattern here. I've got, starting on beat 2, right, right, left, left, right, right, foot, foot, right, right, left. Oh my goodness, what was that? If you think I had fun writing this one, you are correct, I did. So I've got a 16th, 8th, 16th pattern at the beginning, 1 E, and then that roll, and then that lands on the E after 3, and then I've got a little bit of space, and then E and on the floor tom just to round us out. So this is one that has a break in the time feel, but it picks up before beat 1, so it's going to round us back out. Let's see how that sounds without the beat, just the fill. Nice and slow. 1, 2, 3, E and 4, E and Let's try that a little faster. 1, 2, 3, E and 4, E and. All right, let's try this one with the groove and see how it goes. Nice and slow at first. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. Let's try it a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. I think the answer is yes. I think the 11-stroke roll is my favorite one on this page as well. Number 9, we're on to the 13-stroke roll, so we're going to land on the and after 2. I've got foot, foot, right, right, left, left, right, right, foot, foot, right, right, left. And then 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And that sounds like this, nice and slow. 1 and 2 and 3 E and a, 4 E and a. And a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3 and a, 4 and a. And now with a beat, slow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And now a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. That might be the trickiest one on the page. Number 10, we're going to do the 15-stroke roll. So now this is a beat and 3/4, right? This one we're going to do, this one is a very time break kind of one, but we're going to break the time at the beginning. We've got 2 quarter note flams and then the roll, and we're going to land on the E right before the next one. So we're going to have this cool kind of accent anticipation into the crash. I'm not going to do this one too slow because I think it's pretty basic compared to the things we've done the last couple weeks. So 1, 2, 3 and a 4 and a. And a little faster just to show you the idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. With the beat, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. With that one, almost because it had such a broken time at the beginning, I felt like a lot of pull that I wanted to play a lot of stuff going into it, right? That one gave me more freedom than some of the previous ones we've done. Number 11, now we've got our 17-stroke roll, 2 beats long. We're going to do beats 3 and 4, 3 Eana, 4 Eana, and we're going to have foot, foot, right, right, left, left. Foot, foot, right, right, left, left. Right, right, left, left. Might seem like a tricky pattern, but we're doing 2 groups of 3, right? Foot, foot, tom, 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 tom. Foot, foot, floor, floor, hi, hi, and then snare, snare. So like this. And setting that up, we've just got 2 offbeat eighth notes, 1 on the tom, 1 on the tom. So just the fill, 1 and 2, 3 and a 4 and a 1. And a little faster. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. This one is another one that has a little bit of a broken time at the beginning, so this one would be use caution when using this when playing a groove. Let's play it with a groove and see how that sounds and see if you can tell what I'm talking about. Slow at first. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. and a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's another one that the tempo we just played at, it starts to sound, I mean, it becomes more difficult to pull it off physically and technically, sure, but it also starts to sound like, and that might be cool sometimes, but you want to be careful playing double stroke rolls that fast on toms where the tempo is before they start to sound weird. So last week we skipped the triple stroke roll and the multiple bounce roll. We're going to throw those back in this week. Number 12 is the triple stroke roll. I'm going to play right, 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 left, 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 right, 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 left, 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 right, 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 left, 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 right, and okay? So I'm going to do the triple stroke roll until beat 4, and then and after beat 4. So that sounds like this. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. A little faster. Remember how much I harped on keeping the 3 notes of the triple stroke roll articulate, right? This is why when I do them on my floor tom, I really want to hear 3 clean notes. Let's see how I do. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. Let's try that one with a beat, nice and slow. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. And a little faster. 1, and 2, and 3, and 4, and. It's a real workout to get those 3 notes cleanly on the toms. It can be super cool when the time is right. It's another thing though, you wanna decide musically, right? Are you cramming in notes just to kind of say that you did, or because it musically makes sense on the tom? Number 13 is our multiple bounce roll. We're just going to do a quarter note multiple bounce roll at the beginning of the measure. We're going to release on the bass drum, and then another eighth note on the bass drum, flam on the snare. It's a 16th note, an eighth and a 16th on the bass, and a single stroke 4 to finish it out on the snare. So that sounds like this. One, let's not do this one too slow because multiple bounce roll. 1 and 2 and 3 and a 4 and a. You might notice I'm leaving my snare drum, my left hand on the snare drum at the end of the roll while the bass drum is playing. I'm kind of stretching that buzz roll, that multiple bounce roll, over the bass drum a little bit, just to provide a little bit more cushion, a little bit more air. It's totally it's not what's written there, it's how my ear is hearing the interpretation. Let's try that one a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. And now with the beat, mellow. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And a little bit faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, really briefly, this is one of those times when we can talk about changing things up. That single stroke 4 at the end, instead of playing it all on the snare, I can do this neat little trick. Right hand, right foot. It flows very naturally, and you just use the rhythm of the single stroke 4. Let's do that real quick. 1, 2, 3, 4. So even something as simple as a simple voicing change is one of the ways that you can change these up. Again, all of these are just pieces, right? You can put them together. They're like Legos. You should be able to think of these as different elements that you're putting together in any way you want. Okay, last one, number 14. We're going to do an 11-stroke roll. I told you I like the 11-stroke roll. Some 16th and 8th bass kicks, and then that 16th note triplet pattern, 4 triplet and triplet. And that sounds like this. 1 and 2, 3 and a 4 and a. and a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, let's try that with a beat. Nice and slow at first. 1 and 2, 3 and 4 and. And a little faster. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's it. Wow. There's so much here that the battery for the foot camera died. So in that last one, you have no foot camera view. I apologize. Whew, but this was a lot of stuff, right? We ran through the fills, without the grooves, with grooves. I hope this gives you tons of material to work on and to pull out ideas from. The next couple weeks, we are totally changing what we do. And in some ways, it's going to be a lot easier the next couple weeks. So if you want to keep on with our lessons, but also keep working on this lesson, that would work great, I think, right? The next couple lessons are probably going to be stuff you can digest very quickly before we ramp back up again, right? That's the way, to me, that's the way lessons make sense. You introduce a concept, right? And it's kind of down here. And then you build that concept up. And then you introduce another concept and you build it up. And gradually those waves get higher and higher, right? But next week, this is kind of our crest. Next week, we're gonna be down in a valley again. So if this feels like a lot, if last week felt like a lot, the next couple weeks are going to give you some time to work on this stuff. So this might not be a good time to, if you're feeling like, oh, I should take a break to catch up, you can probably keep up with next week's lesson. Remember, if you have any questions, please drop them into the comment section below. I read all your comments. If you like this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up. If you hate this video, I would accept a thumbs down. If you like my channel, if you like what's going on here, please subscribe. If you want to get notified, make sure you don't miss any of my videos. I keep threatening to do some live streams, and who knows, maybe I will. And if you hit that little notification bell icon, you will get notified when I do. I'm thinking that the Drummers You Should Know series is probably going to be a live stream. I've been thinking about a few different ways to pull that off, given YouTube's copyright systems, and especially some of the drummers I want to talk about play in bands that the bands pretty aggressively block any sharing of material. They don't even just take the copyright and take the ad revenue from those videos. They just block it from YouTube totally. So that's kind of a bummer. So those videos might end up just me talking and then linking like a playlist or something and talking through a few grooves and tunes. But haven't started that yet. Maybe I'll start soon. Who knows? Anyway, I hope you got something out of this lesson. I can't tell you how happy I am to have y'all with me. I mean, it tickles me. I'm so happy to have you all here, especially during this time specifically when we're all like trapped inside our houses. It's super great to feel like I have some connection to y'all. And so thank you for joining me. Next week, like I said, we're gonna totally change things up. No spoilers, I'm not even gonna tell you. Just that it's gonna be a new concept, and so it's probably gonna be a little less physically challenging. It's probably not all that mentally challenging, given some other stuff we've done so far, but it's a concept we should talk about. All right, I hope y'all are staying safe and staying happy. If you want to catch up with me on Facebook or Instagram, I am there at Penny Larson Drums, and I would love to see you there. I hope you have a nice weekend, and I will see you all again really, really soon. I love you all very much. Take care. Bye.